Lab classes face new challenges this fall as professors try to adapt their class model to the coronavirus pandemic, finding a way to provide a hands-on learning experience while keeping students safe. This challenge has forced both students and professors to get creative and step outside the traditional classroom into the outdoors. Gabriela Rivas de Leon has the story.
2 to 3 times a week, weather permitting, Elon sophomore Capri Buck and her 13 classmates head to Loy Farm for their agroecology lab. Students learn the science behind agricultural food production by harvesting their own plots, where they grow everything from carrots to kale.
When we're in the lab, we don't do much work except physical labor to our plots and testing to the soil. However, we apply what we learned from the lecture during the lab, so there is a balance there, and it's similar to other labs. You still learn, it's just a different setting.
As an environmental science major, interactive labs are crucial to Buck's education and her future outside of Elon. When classes went online last semester, she says she lost crucial time practicing skills that could help her in the future.
This year has been a lot different than last year because my Intro to Environmental Studies class was online for part of the semester, so I didn't get the full value and experience with that.
In addition to having lab on the farm, Buck's professor will also sometimes hold the lecture portion of the lab in the outdoor classroom at Loy Farms. Buck says she is interested in sustainable farming, and spending so much time on the farm has been beneficial.
I do think that agroecology, the lab itself, is a lot more beneficial during this COVID time than other labs out there, because I do know that other labs have an online portion and an in-person portion, which can be hard to balance, so I'm really glad that I took this lab over others.
Other lab students who would traditionally meet in the classroom are taking similar approaches. Catherine Paterzo's population biology, which studies the basics of genetics, evolutionary changes, and ecology, traditionally meet inside of a classroom. This year, the class meets outside.
It's definitely very hot outside, so we try to finish the lab as quickly as possible, but I still feel like we're really all comprehending the material. With microbiology lab, I wish we would have more time in the lab just because everything we're learning is so cool.
While Paterzo feels her labs aren't directly preparing her for her chosen field in healthcare, she appreciates the lengths the Elon Science Department is going to make classes as safe as possible.
One thing that I am glad I'm getting to do now while we're still on campus is my research. I'm doing biology research, and I'm doing this in the physiology department in their lab. I'm really glad that we are still on campus so that I have the time to work with the EKG machine and get some data recorded. I'm hoping that we're on campus as long as possible so that I can record as much data as possible.
For ELN, this is Gabriela Rivas de Leon.
Both students say they're grateful to be back in class inside or outside.